I'll be honest with you guys. I am not a fan of retail WoW, really, at all.
This game sucks! It's terrible!
But I got into the Shadowlands Alpha, and it's actually looking pretty good. Throughout this whole video, I'm gonna go, hey, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And it's not because I'm being paid by Blizzard, it's actually because a lot of the stuff that I've seen in the Alpha is pretty good. First and foremost, the zone. Good lord, this place is beautiful. There are certain shots and vistas that are honestly some of the most beautiful scenes I've seen in WoW. Just, oh! The zone is called Bastion, and it's the home of the Kyrians, who are the race that the spirit healer is when you die. You find out about their history and their way of life through questing, and the quests are, you know, it's what you'd expect. There's surprisingly a lot of bath taking. But other than that, yeah, it's what you'd expect. It's the same sort of questing style that you've seen in BFA, where the story is the main focus, and that's a good thing. Through the questing, I learned how the Kyrians have to cleanse themselves of the dark memories of when they were mortal, and those who fall into darkness turn into these fallen, forsworn angels, and it's all very cool, and most importantly, pretty unique to WoW lore. The questing lacked any voice acting, which I'm sure will be added in the future, so the story part of questing will only get better. The star of the show here are these owl guys called Stewards, who are, and I quote from the official WoW website, born of the magic of death. Whatever that means, but during your questing experience, you get to choose one of these guys to be your companion, and you can summon him with a spell while in the zone. One of the abilities they have is to be able to give your friends compliments.
I love you, bitch. Oh my god. I ain't gonna never stop loving you, bitch.
But back to questing. I died one time, and when I released, it was actually kind of scary. Instead of your screen going gray and that spirit music being played, instead it was just silent and ominous. And hey, I chose to play an Enhancement Shaman because of the reintroduction of Wind Fury, thinking I was going to be able to do some nasty auto attacks and just wipe the floor with some mobs, but it was actually horribly anticlimactic, and I barely even noticed I had the buff. So it was very insignificant, and it almost felt like it was bugged. It was so insignificant. Other than that, you know, it's nice to have a good variety of totems again, but at the end of the day, enhancement is still the same in the sense that you're just taping down the Stormstrike button and praying for procs. So pretty disappointing on that front, but I'm looking forward to playing some of the other classes in the future. And speaking of other classes, I did the new starter island, and this was surprisingly impressive. First off, it's very pretty, and clearly a lot of effort has been put into it, which I'm really glad for because the starting experience for new players has been pretty abysmal for a very long time. So even in the alpha stage, this place is pretty well polished and does a great job at guiding the player on how to play WoW. And the whole thing really just feels like a D&D WoW campaign, and I'm actually really looking forward to when it's completed, and the whole thing is really just Warcraft condensed into one small island, which is great for new players, like you fight Murlocs, and Quillboars, and Ogres, and it's just Warcraft in the most basic elements, which I think is the best path they could have taken. Data mining stuff has come out too, and oh boy howdy does it get me excited. First, the models. Look at this one. And hey, look at this one. That's pretty cool. Oh, neat. Nice. Radical. Tubular. And there's going to be more character customization options, and as of recording this, there's only ones for the humans, but hey, look at that. You can be blind now, which is pretty cool. Gives you an excuse when you stand in fire. But there's makeup too, and oh honey. Oh dear, oh sweetie, what are you oh no. But for real, the next top model transmog fashion guru in me is excited to see the new options for the races like the undead and the goblins. But in Shadowlands, you also have to pick a covenant, which is kind of like the Aldor or Scryers back in BC, and you get to choose between 4 different factions. So you got the Angel People, You got the furry people, you got the vampire people, you got the zombie people, and good god, the zombie people, aka the necrolords, whew, they're looking amazing. I mean, look at these models. Look at this one. Look at that one. Look at this one. The only problem is each of these factions has a special ability for each class, and you can only choose one of these factions. So I hope there's not really a conflict between what my favorite Covenant is visually, and what Covenant has the best in slot ability for me. And since the Shadowlands is set in a place that is basically the afterlife of the Warcraft universe, they have lots of opportunities to bring back old characters. And you know, I want to be stoic, and I want to be real choosy on who they bring back so it doesn't get too fanfiction-y, but I mean, oh my god, there's Lady Vash, and look, there's Kael'thas, except now he's a vampire, and look, there's Hakar, and whoa, look at that new Bolvar model, and oh my, it's Kel'Thuzad frickin' Zod, and look, there's Uther too, but in the game files, his name is Bluther, and look, at this point in the WoW lore, we're already off the rails. You know, Titans are stabbing swords in Azeroth, we're defeating old gods in a matter of hours. You know, fuck it. Bring everything back. Make it a fanfiction. Bring every character imaginable. I don't care anymore. I'll just choose the fanboy over this shit instead. Back to stuff they're bringing back from Classic, the similarities don't stop with just spells either. Professions are looking a lot similar with the reintroduction of wizard oil and sharpening stones and enchants for the chest, cloak, boots, bracers, and gloves. You know, it's fun. It's like Blizzard sees us asking for these things for 10 years, and then Classic comes out, and we like the things that we've been asking for 10 years, so then they finally decide to give it back to us after 10 years. The only thing that I really want now is tier sets. Please just bring the tier sets back, please. I'm remaining cautiously optimistic about this expansion, but we have a lot of spells coming back, a lot of profession-related things returning. Leveling is getting revamped. They're removing Warforge and Titan Forging. Shadowlands feels like it's shaping up to be sort of like a WoW 2.0, and honestly, that gets me kind of excited and hopeful for the future. So let's cross our fingers and hope this doesn't turn out to be another BFA. And if it does, I mean, at least we have TBC.